To the IFF TV podcast.
Tony? No? Okay, we'll move on. Guy Havard is in the room, so please be patient. Guy Havard, Sky Sports.
Yes, Stephen, if you can just update us on injuries, please, particularly Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, Aaron is doubtful, you would say, very doubtful with a foot injury. You know, it's an impact injury, so he's struggling at the moment. We'll have to see how he is.
He's definitely not ruled out yet then.
Well, you know, we'll have to wait and see how he goes. You know, he's up against it.
Any other injuries?
No, you know, to be honest, everyone's fully fit really, bar Aaron. You know, the players are in good form, and you know they've been trained well this morning. Really good session, and everyone is you know, looking forward to the game.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Will O'Callaghan?
Hi Stephen, just if Aaron Connolly was to be ruled out for tomorrow, were you happy with the impact that James Collins and Shane Long had from the bench?
Yeah, I was quite pleased really that you know, obviously they were both involved in the goal. In fact, all the substitutes were involved in the second goal. Robbie Brady played that initial pass in, and Shane Long and James Collins finished it, of course. And so yeah, I mean, we've got good options, and Troy Parrott also, you know, is in the picture as well. So to come into the squad, so we have. I'm pleased with the options that we have.
In terms of the options, Stephen, are you likely to make many changes for tomorrow evening, or can we expect many of the 11 from midweek to play again?
Well, you know, it's not my intention to give the team away, you know, to give any advantage to the opposition. But I thought it was a really good performance today. I felt so many good. We can gain a lot of confidence from it. That's what I feel. We can gain a lot of confidence from the game. I think we showed great composure in possession. We showed good understanding of tactically about the game itself against Serbia. I think the players used the width of the pitch really well. They passed it sharp and incisively, and it created some chances and scored 2 goals. Obviously, we're not happy with. You know, we've not conceded too many chances. So concede 3 goals from sort of 4 chances. We wouldn't be pleased about that. But overall, I thought it was a very good display, and the players can take confidence from that going into this game now.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Paul Walsh from Virgin.
Thanks, Kieran. Hi, Stephen. How are things?
Hi, Paul.
Tomorrow's game a must-win for you?
Is it a must-win? In what context, Paul?
Just to get the campaign off to get a few points on the board. And also, of course, your record isn't so good at the moment. So from a two-pronged point of view, I suppose, is it important for that?
Yeah, no, it's important that we win the game. You know, I think it is important. There's no doubt about that. I think, you know, it's only, the campaign is 8 games. So, listen, I really feel we deserved a point in Belgrade. There's a couple of pivotal moments in the game, obviously, that I'd spoken about the other night. One, obviously, the penalty decision against Aaron Connolly, and the second one, the concession of our second goal was certainly a pivotal moment. So I think, you know, it's important then that we bounce back from that and try and beat Luxembourg tomorrow. Luxembourg have had a lot of good form recently and had some good wins to their credit. So they're not the Luxembourg of old. They're a different proposition, but nevertheless, it's a game that we must look to try and win.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
I think Tony O'Donoghue's just rejoined us there. Tony, are you there yet?
I am indeed, yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. 2 questions.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Tony.
I'm not sure if it's been asked already, but have you thought about changing the shape of the team as per every opponent you face now, rather than you changed the system a little on Thursday against Serbia? Is that something now? Is it horses for courses? Is it systems for courses, so to speak?
Yeah, like we can't ignore that possibility. I think the way you achieve success generally is through continuity. So it is a contradiction to say that, but you do have to adapt, and sometimes depending on what players you have available and the opposition you face, we played 3-4-1-2 the other night against Serbia. I think sometimes when you've got Seamus Coleman and Matt Doherty in the same team, you've got Kieran Clark, who's a left-footed player, can play in the back three, and you've got Enda Stevens and Matt Doherty, who traditionally have played as wing backs for their clubs. And you have a striker like Aaron Connolly, who is suited to playing in a front two, playing against a 3-4-3 system that Serbia play. It made sense. It made a lot of sense, and I felt the players took the information on board very quickly, and I thought they were excellent overall. It was a really good performance, but really good. And when I watched it back again, it reiterated that. I just said, the players are very good on the night, and definitely we've left at least 1 point behind us, and we're disappointed with that. But the atmosphere is very, very good. Morale is good. It's different than the other camps, probably because we haven't had COVID influence in this camp, and that has had a major impact on our other camps. I think we've always lost players, and it was in the infancy really of COVID in sort of September, October, where people weren't sure the impact of it, the impact on their families. There was that sort of uncertainty, and that decimated our camp. Really, this feels different. This feels like morale is really good. Players are very relaxed, and they played well the other night. Disappointed to lose, so we want to sort of put in that level of performance, but win tomorrow. That has to be the objective. That has to be the objective.
And can I ask you, because of the unfortunate injury to Aaron Connolly, he's out of the squad now, does that give Troy Parrott an opportunity? He wasn't even on the bench the other night because you had to leave 4 players off. Does he get, I suppose, elevated into the matchday squad now, in your view?
Yeah, Troy Parrott certainly comes into the picture. I think that's Troy knows how highly I regard him, and I think he's finding his way, at the moment in league football. But obviously he's been terrific for all the international teams, and for me as under-21 international manager, he was outstanding. So he would come into the squad if Aaron misses out.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks.
The 42, please.
Hi, Stephen. Are you
How you doing?
by Mark Travers in goal tomorrow night?
Am I sticking by? Well, I'm not picking the team now at the moment, but certainly, we're not gonna select the team or confirm anyone's in or out at the moment. So I think I haven't picked a team, so it wouldn't be fair for me to do it in the media. The players are not aware of the team quite yet, so maybe later. So I don't think that would be fair if I did that.
Yeah, I asked just because you had flagged that Mark would start ahead of the game in Serbia, so that's why.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. No, it's a fair question.
And then just one other question, Stephen. Like, do you feel you need to freshen things up, given make selection based on energy? Because tough game in Belgrade, and it's only 3 days between that game and Saturday.
Yeah, that's the dilemma. It is. Some players, are rare to go. Really, they want to play. Everyone wants to play. That's the nature of players in international squads. Everyone wants to play, and they're all supporting each other. You know, Shane Duffy been quite inspirational behind the scenes, even though he hasn't been playing, urging his teammates on and been very selfless in with regard to the whole, you know, your country comes first, and that's, you know, that's his mantra, if you like. You know, I think you know, he, you know, that's the way he's approached it, and he, you know, he's really getting behind everyone.
Okay, we've just got time for Ed Leahy now from the live section, then we'll have to move into the embargo.
Stephen, I suppose I just want to ask you about watching Aaron Connolly go down with suffering with what looked like cramp after 65 minutes for a young player. It highlighted the fact that several members of the squad were lacking match fitness going into the game. Is that something that you would consider for future squads, you think?
In relation to consider for future squads, how do you mean?
Just in terms of, like, I suppose it's not a good look for a young lad to go down after
Right.
65 minutes. So just in terms of, would you be more maybe look more to focusing on players who are playing week in, week out with the clubs, if it means losing a little bit of quality?
I think you have to take each individual case in its merits. I don't think you can just have a blanket rule. I think Aaron's got cramp. It's not like him. You know, it does sort of reflect, I suppose, his recent injury history. You know, and that's been the issue, and that has obviously affected his training patterns, because he's had a rib injury, so he couldn't train for a number of weeks. And before that, he had this sort of intermittent hamstring injury. So it has affected his training. But listen, he's a terrific prospect, gives everything. You know, he played through the pain barrier. He's someone who is going to be a very, very good player for Ireland, someone that we know can play in a few positions for us, and has that acceleration and pace and the ability, you know, potentially the ability to score goals for Ireland, and that's you know, that's something we should cherish. And he's just been unlucky, really. He's just been unfortunate with injuries, you know, fractured rib, you know, an impact injury on the foot, and the hamstring injury. So these are 3 separate injuries in you know, in a 4 or 5 month period. So it's difficult for him to contend with that, because he loves playing for his country, you know, really determined, knew that he wanted to make an impact in this World Cup campaign. So it's tough for him.
And I suppose just what has your opinion been of Jason Knight throughout the camp, and how close was he to featuring in Serbia?
Yeah, Jason, you know, is a terrific young player, and again, Josh Cullen and Jason Malumbi got the nod, but Jason's very close as well, and he's, you know, we're very pleased with Jason, his form. Obviously, I've got to see Jason a lot for Derby County. I've seen him quite a lot. He's played in a lot of different positions for Derby, and we're very pleased with him.
Okay, we're going to move into the embargo.
We just want to take a quick break to speak about our sponsors for this video and podcast, TeamFeePay. As you can see in the image there, some of the clubs that TeamFeePay has acquired, Shamrock Rovers being the main one so far. TeamFeePay is an easy to use online payment platform that covers management and administration, finance, club development, communication, governance and COVID track and trace. Club administrators save hours of time with TeamFeePay, save time on administration and finance. You can quickly confirm, decline and record attendance at club sessions and events. With a new database created, parents and players register with the system, which in turn creates and builds a player database for the club. Team groups can be easily set up for easy access to data. Real-time transaction updates. TeamFeePay keeps club administrators or team managers updated on processed payments, but also flags up incomplete transactions and automatically emails the payee to give notice of a future attempt. TeamFeePay already works with over 1,000 leagues, clubs and academies and are growing all the time. TeamFeePay is proud to be helping clubs across multiple sports. TeamFeePay is free to use, it's free to install by all of their members. There are no hidden fees, there is no sign-up fee, no annual fee and no monthly membership fee. The processing fee. TeamFeePay charge a very modest fee for any financial transaction that they process, similar to the bank or other credit card processor fees. Book your Zoom demo today at teamfeepay.com or call on +353 1526 7499.
It's embargoed until 11 p.m. tonight, remember guys, 11 p.m. tonight. So Dan McDonald.
Sorry Stephen, can I just clarify, it was tweeted earlier by the FAI that Aaron Connolly was out and returned to his club. Like, is that correct or is that wrong?
Yeah, he's most likely. Yeah, I mean, I think Kieran, you better answer that.
He's a major doubt. He's a major doubt. He's not returned.
I'm only joking now. I'm joking with Kieran. All right, I'm joking with him. You know, to be honest with you, calling a spade, we wouldn't release that normally. That he would definitely be out, but it was released by in a scenario. I didn't realise that. Like, it just came in here that it had been released, but certainly he has a foot injury and he's struggling. You know, he's out. Yeah.
Okay. Just we had Darrell Sheehan earlier. Just in terms of the other day and the team selection that you made, I think you spoke about Kieran Clark giving left side balance. I could be wrong, but I mean, if it was a choice between Dara and Shane Duffy, what were the factors that swung you towards Dara in that sort of equation?
Yeah, I don't think it's just a straight up between Darragh and Shane, but Darragh's been playing every week for West Brom at centre back. I went to see Darragh play against twice within a week against Everton, where he marked Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, and he did brilliantly. I thought he was outstanding in that game at centre back, and also he played against Newcastle and gave a very composed display. So I think he's come on an awful lot. He's a gradual improver all his career. Rather than being a player who's been a standout 15 or 16-year-old, he's someone who's just got gradually better every year and shown a brilliant attitude. And I think, so he's been playing regularly in the Premier League. He's very composed in possession, and he has sort of an all-round qualities in that. He's quite aggressive as well, and he's not 6'3" or 6'4", so he's not the biggest centre half, but he still competes very well for aerial challenges, for aerial duels. He competes very well, so and does quite well. Shane, to be fair, on the other hand, has been an exceptional player for Ireland, and has captained the team under Mick McCarthy initially and under myself, and he's been a great player for Ireland. Just hasn't played, been out of the team at Celtic for a long period, and that's never easy. And so those are some of the factors.
Neil O'Riordan, please.
Hi, Stephen. I appreciate that you're saying your Luxembourg aren't maybe the team they were previously, but I think I've still only won more than one game in a qualifying campaign. Once under the lowest ranked side you've faced so far. Does this offer a real kind of opportunity to make a statement of intent in terms of what the team wants to do? And, if you get yourselves into a good position in the game to really kind of kick on and show what you can.
Yeah, but we have to earn the right to win. I think it is a game that we, huge desire to win, of course, and I think really the two qualify overall. I'm disappointed as a manager that we haven't won, but won games. Of course I am, but I think overall our two performances in the qualifiers, either the European Championship qualifier and our playoff in Slovakia and the World Cup qualifier in Serbia, were two really exceptional performances against good teams away from home. You know, we'd over 50% possession in the second half there against Serbia the other night, and you know, we played very, very well and played completely differently than Irish teams would have in the last decade, really, away from home against good nations. And we controlled a lot of the games in both games, and we drew 0-0 obviously and lost 3-2. So what we have to try and do is turn them performances, just make them winning performances. You know, we don't want plaudits for losing games. Like we have to turn those performances into wins. And Luxembourg, obviously watched a lot of their games. Obviously they beat Cyprus, beat Montenegro and all in the Nations League. They've had a lot of good results. You know, they've done very well, and they're quite actually in a previous era that Luxembourg maybe sat deep, and that they're quite an expansive team. Like they actually play 4-3-3, and they make the pitch big and really try and play. So it's so I'm expecting quite an open game tomorrow, and it should be quite open really overall. I feel. Yeah, I think you know, we have introduced a lot of players in. Obviously, there's two objectives. Obviously, one was the European Championship playoff with quite an experienced team and the team, and then the game the other night. Obviously, with some players missing, but we've introduced a lot of players. Obviously, 13. We've spoken about 13 players in this squad have come through international teams in the last few seasons, and have made a step up to be seen in the senior international squad at least. And some of the players have excelled really well, and hopefully they can do that tomorrow against Luxembourg. Some players haven't been selected to start, as was mentioned, Jason Knight, for example. And he's one of a few who are well capable of coming in and doing well.
Brendan, please.
Thanks, Stephen.
Hi, Brendan.
I'd just like to ask you about James Clean's condition, and also a player like James. When you look at trying to set a tempo from the start of a game, very few that can replicate that intensity that James gives. Maybe just elaborate a wee bit on his condition and what he brings to a game in terms of setting a high tempo, trying to unnerve Luxembourg from first minute.
Yeah, James. You know, James is a very, very proud Irishman, of course, and the dilemma was he hadn't played for Stoke for a period there for a number of weeks. Stoke weren't overly keen on him joining up because they didn't feel he was match fit, which is fair enough. And he hadn't done that much training, but he's such a dedicated individual that he kept himself in impeccable condition. But you can't really replicate training. Obviously, you know, our matches, and just come into an international match having not done anything, you know, at all. So it's hard to do that. So when he came on the other night, you know, I thought he looked sharp when he came on, and he looks light. He looks light in his feet, and you know, not that training's been extensive because of the time constraints and the close proximity of the matches and so forth. But he has trained well, and is certainly putting himself in contention.
Paul Lennon, please.
Thanks.
Oh, Stephen, thanks, Kieran.
Hi, Paul.
A very good performance in spells tonight, Stephen. But still, that elusive win awaits you in the team. Do you feel under any pressure? Does the team feel under any pressure to deliver it now against the team you would be expected to beat?
Yeah, I can see why you would think that, Paul. You know, and it's a fair question. I think, but if you're in the hotel now or on the training ground now, you wouldn't feel that from the team, because they actually sort of. And I know I mentioned already the whole COVID situation in the other camps, but it's completely obviously we've had 3 tests, because the previous camps we had a test, everyone came through it, we think we're fine, and then you're asymptomatic, and then it happens on your second test, and we've had 3 tests now. So you know, I think that's been a big help really, and I think just the players are in really good form. They know they played really well the other night, and disappointed to lose, but they know you can't dwell on that, and it's been very buoyant around the place and training today. The players are in really good spirits and anxious to do well, and you know, I think they seem quite relaxed, and I really feel we're in a much better sort of place than we were in November, for example, coming into that last Bulgaria game when there's been a lot of tension and a lot of players and so forth. So I think you know, they were very good against Serbia tonight. Players are feeling confident, and now they want to take that into the game against Luxembourg, which all the games with Luxembourg, even in their Euro qualifiers, they were in a tough group last year with Portugal and Serbia and the Ukraine. And the Ukraine won that group actually, but the Ukraine only beat Luxembourg 1-0, you know, and twice. So you know, Serbia close games, you know. So Luxembourg have had, I'm not trying to talk them up, it's just I wouldn't have been as aware until they were drawn in a group, and then you go and look at them, that they've actually had a lot of good results, better than I would have expected. So so we'll have to go, and we're well capable of winning. If we play to our full potential, we're capable of winning, and we must go and take the confidence that we gained from the game against Serbia, take it into the game at home, and try and win the game and show our quality.
Just one more question, Stephen. Do you expect Aaron to be involved, or Aaron Connolly? And secondly, is there a role for Robbie Brady from the start, given that you know you expect a kind of open game from Luxembourg, that they may sit in at times and make it more difficult for you than some of the teams you've had so far?
Yeah, no, I see the one with Ireland. Ireland is you know, obviously not going to play, but I think Robbie. See, again, Robbie was in sort of not hugely dissimilar situation, only slightly dissimilar to James McLean, in that Robbie's had an ongoing Achilles problem, and hasn't been training regularly at all with Burnley, and then was off for a few weeks again with it, was troubling him, and he came back and played 20 minutes and 2 25-minute cameos as a substitute recently. So he's not been playing regularly because of the Achilles injury. But to be honest with you, in the couple of days training, he's presented a lot better than I expected. He's presented really well. Looks he's like trained very well today, and I didn't expect him to be at that level when I seen him. Because he is a player that sometimes needs to find a rhythm. When he wasn't playing and didn't have a rhythm in his play, he didn't look quite the same player. And all of a sudden, he got a good run of games after Christmas, which was great. It was the most he's played in 2 years, and in terms of consecutive games. And then just the Achilles injury struck him down and had him in and out. And then he had to get complete rest for a few weeks. And so he came on and had to come on against Everton, obviously recently, and in another game. And but it was only 2 20-minute matches. That was it, 2 20-minute. So he's certainly an option, and when he's really fit, he genuinely does excite me. So we'll have to when he's looking like the player we know he can be. He genuinely is. He genuinely is an exciting prospect. It's getting back to that level for himself. That's it.